G'day scrappers, welcome to a quick little update on buying circuit boards here in Melbourne. As a lot of you know, I buy all kinds of circuit boards and eWaste scrap as well as gold recovery items from scrappers here in Melbourne and small recyclers and things like that. So just wanted to do a little update on the prices because some of the prices have gone up because of the price of gold and precious metals have mostly gone up a little bit, so even copper. So here we've got low grade boards, and as I say to a lot of scrappers, low grade boards are quite low in value. If you want to increase your scrap value and you've got the time, I highly recommend removing some of the transformers and extruded aluminium and so on to get that extra value instead of bringing them to me. So preferably, like, if you completely depopulate these boards and get your aluminium, your transformers, etc., and then just pretty much throw the boards away, you probably do better than just bring them to me and selling them as low grade. But having said that, a lot of people do bring me low grade boards, and so that's the price for low grade boards at the moment. So it's gone up a little bit, and obviously what isn't low grade, what isn't mostly transformers and base metal recovery, most of the boards that you will find in like DVD players, modems, set-top boxes, and pretty much all kinds of electronics are what we call a mid-grade board. So here's one that's quite a low mid-grade board. You get slightly higher with better quality chips, not too much rubbish, but it's starting to get there. It's all this stuff here is all junk, so but it balances out. So most of your green boards are mid-grade boards, things from LCD TVs or plasmas, all kinds of things. So pretty much all your circuit boards, if they've got some kind of IC chips on there and there's no rubbish like on a low-grade board, they all come as mid-grade. I used to have a high grade and a mid-grade, but instead I just increased the price of mid-grade to cover all of them. It saves a lot of confusion because some people were confused as how to separate mid-grade and high grade. So pretty much all these boards that are just green and no rubbish and got IC chips on there, I class them all as mid-grade boards. And so there's the price there. Mid-grade boards have also gone up quite a bit. Actually, mid-grade boards are probably the thing that have gone up the most out of this. The only thing that hasn't gone up is computer motherboards. So your standard PC motherboards with the battery removed, obviously the main heatsink removed, but you can leave the little heat sinks on the side, just that one little heatsink. But obviously you have to remove the main heatsink with the, you want to take out the CPU obviously. And the reason why computer motherboards haven't gone up is because of these kind here. Now this is the new style, the I-series socket. As you can see, there's a lot of steel around here, and as far as gold recovery, these are a lot lower gold recovery than the old style. Like even this one here, even though it's a blue colored board, the green boards are usually the highest value, but you can see this plastic socket CPU here, or CPU socket. So these are a little bit higher value, and so it balances out because most of the PCs that we scrap out these days have got the I-series socket, and so currently we're lucky enough to still get a good motherboard price. That's the price there, and so hopefully we don't have to eventually separate eye socket to plastic socket, but that's for the future. So that's computer motherboards. Then we've got server motherboards, which is a dual socket server, and then pretty much anything higher grade than a PC motherboard or a mid-grade board, like from huge Cisco Wi-Fi telecommunication systems. Pretty much anything that's higher grade, that I grade as higher grade. So it's a little bit complicated, this grade, because some things can be classed as telecom grade, like this board here is telecom grade, even though it's been slightly depopulated with a few chips removed, so it's brought down to server grade. But I do have a server grade price as well. So if your boards that you bring me as telecom grade, if you bring me server grade boards, high-end boards, and if they happen to be a telecom grade, I'll pay you more than this price here, which is server grade boards. So a lot of times when you scrap out a regular server, it'll have 2 CPU sockets, and that's also classed as, obviously, as a server board. But all this stuff here is all server grade board. And mostly because I've brought down some of the telecom grade boards down to server level, just to make it easier for me to sell it. But yeah, so that's the price for server grade boards. But if you do have higher than server grade boards, I have a special price for them. So that's just depends on when you bring it to me. Another thing I buy, obviously, are computer power supply units. Now, I used to buy them with the cords cut off. I can no longer buy power supply units with the cords cut off. So if you've already got power supplies with cords cut off, what I suggest you do is remove this outer shield and just sell me the actual board that's inside, which will be a low-grade power board, and then you get some extra wire you can cut off as well. But preferably leave the power supply units complete with the wire. The only ones that you won't have any wire are from servers. So when you pull out the servers, it usually got either gold pins or gold fingers, right? They have to be intact, and that also I can buy as a power supply. So that's the price of power supplies. They've gone up a little bit. Awesome. The other thing I buy and manage to get a little bit more price, you know, they're just starting off this bin, but these are laptop motherboards. So when you get laptop motherboards, make sure that the little batteries are always removed. But laptop motherboards, that's the price for laptop motherboards currently. And yeah, a little bit more than server grade boards, so keep them separate. And the only other boards I buy, well, the only other boards left are your slot cards. So your PCI slot cards, they've got to have the gold fingers. The only thing, when they've got little heat sinks like that, fine, leave them on. But when they've got actual fans, like little motorized fans on top within the heatsink, you've got to actually remove them so they're like that, nice and clean. What you can do is you can leave the steel bracket on there, so it gives you a bit better value. I've managed to get a little bit better price on slot cards. There you go there. So things like that, it's got a lot of junk on there, but that's okay. That counts as a slot card. Obviously, it's got to have the gold fingers. If you remove the gold fingers, this becomes a mid-grade board, so it'll go in there. But then, if you do remove the fingers and sell this as a mid-grade board, you've got to remove this steel plate. So it's up to you. Some people do go for the gold recovery gold fingers, and so if you do want to take off them, that's fine. It ends up as a mid-grade board, but you do have to take off this heavy steel bracket. So you're getting like 3 times the price as a slot card, and you're also getting a lot more money because you're selling the steel on there. So that's slot cards, a pretty good price for them at the moment. And yeah, so obviously I do buy a few other things. like for instance complete laptops. I buy complete intact laptops, so but they've got to be intact, so I've got to be able to open them, close them, and you know the screen's not broken and it's not like totally smashed up or anything like that. So yep, I can buy complete laptops. That's the price there for complete laptops. I also got a price for laptops that have i5s and laptops that are i7s. So if you open up the laptop, do it with one hand, usually you'll have your Intel sticker here, and if it says Intel i5 or i7, you can put them aside and give them to me separately, so when I weigh them up I'll give you a better price. But overall, if it's like Core 2 Duo or whatever it is, vintage, doesn't matter what it is, then it's just your standard laptop price. Also, I buy obviously hard drives. Okay, hard drives, oh, that's another thing that haven't really gone up much in price, simply because these new model hard drives are nothing like the old school hard drives with the full size boards. They're only got little boards, not much gold recovery value, so that's the price for hard drives. And yeah, I think we've covered just about all the bulky things that I buy, but obviously I buy a lot of gold recovery things like CPUs, RAM, gold fingers, pins, pretty much everything. And so you're welcome to come down to my place and make an appointment. Obviously call me at least a day before to make sure that I'm going to be here and I'm going to be able to book you in to weigh out your boards and process that. So make sure you give me a call or send me an email. My price list, my full price list, is the link is there. That's the link. There'll also be a link in the description at the end of this video, so just look in the description, you'll see my contact details, you'll see the link to my forum webpage where I list all my circuit boards and everything that I buy and the current prices. So it's an old thread, but it's the prices are updated you know, monthly, or as soon as I get a price change, I'll always update those prices. So check out that link as well. You'll see all my prices. If the link, sometimes some people say that the link is a little bit funny. It says there's you know, it's not a secure site or something. That's most likely your virus system just warning you. But there's no viruses on that site. There's nothing wrong. If you do get a message, just click away and click back on it, and you should find my page with all the prices and everything. So there you go, guys. Just a quick update. And basically what happens is when you make a booking with me to come and bring your stuff, some things, you know, I don't buy obviously complete stuff. The only thing complete that I buy are laptops. I also buy cell phones, so that's the cell phone price. So complete cell phones, whether they have batteries or not, it's the same price. That's another thing I buy. That's the only other thing I buy complete. I don't buy complete anything else. You'll have to scrap that out and bring me the boards themselves. I also don't buy chickens. I've got my own chickens. And I don't buy anything that you can sell to the scrap metal yard. Like, I don't buy copper or wire or aluminium or brass or anything like that. Those things are got to be taken to a scrap metal yard and sold to them. I'm not a scrap metal dealer, and so I don't buy that sort of stuff. I just buy eWaste circuit boards and stuff. And so basically what will happen is you make a booking, you come along, you bring your stuff in. Ideally, if you can bring them in wheelie bins, sorted out. They've all got to be sorted out, because the more I've got to put time into processing your stuff, the less you're going to actually get. You got to think of it like going to the scrapyard. You go to the scrapyard, you don't fill up a trailer full of all kinds of mixed metals and expect the scrapyard to sort it all out for you into individual grades or what it is. Oh, this is aluminium, this is brass. They're not going to do that for you. And so same here. When you bring me boards, you know, try as much as you can to separate your low grade, especially to your mid grade, to your computer motherboards, to your server boards, your laptop boards, your slot cards, and so on. And it'll make it a lot easier for me, and it'll ensure that you get maximum price for the stuff that you're bringing me. Obviously, you might bring in a batch of mid-grade boards and say, okay, these are all mid-grade. As I weigh them up, I might notice, oh, well, this one here is actually low, this is low, so I might separate. Same as people bring me low-grade boards, and I'll pick out stuff if I notice it. I'll say, oh, well, this one's actually mid-grade, you know, we could put this in a higher grade, and so on. So I try my best to maximize your value, but I'm not going to actually sit there and sort out your stuff and give you top dollar at the same time. So you've got to, you know, you kind of do that yourself. But obviously I do buy gold recovery stuff, so IC chips, CPUs of all kinds. If you can separate your CPUs, you'll see all the different grades of CPUs that I buy. If you can sort them into as best you can. Also things like RAM, same thing, separate out the tin RAM, and yeah, you'll get top dollar. Anyway guys, that's all I wanted to update on. So anyone in Melbourne wants to sell circuit boards, I'm your guy. Any small recyclers that are starting to process e-waste and want a good price on circuit boards, I'm your man. If you have bulk, I can organize a special deal where I'll act as a middleman and try and get you a better price. But that's if we're talking about clean, ready to go, bagged up motherboards, etc. by the ton. I can also get a pretty good price for you. But for your average scrapper, the guys that are out there street scrapping and or just picking up e-waste here and there, well, I'm the right guy to come and drop off stuff, and yeah, we'll have a little chat, and I can try and teach you a little bit if you need some advice, and away we go. All right guys, well, I better go. Keep scrapping, have fun. Check out the link at the bottom of the page of this video. You'll see the link to my buy price page, so check that out if you like. And don't hesitate to email me, contact me, make an appointment, and come down. Hopefully the lockdown will end soon, so you'll all be able to come down and start bringing your boards again. All right, keep scrapping guys. Catch you soon.